Hi guys! So today's demonstration is how to make craters on the moon. I have a cake pan and I filled it just a little bit with flour, just enough to coat the bottom and give a little bit, maybe like half an inch up to give it a little padding. Then I added some sprinkles just as a couple other minerals, and I'm going to add a top layer of cocoa. This isn't really necessary. So if you don't have it or you don't have the sprinkles, don't worry about it too much. But we know that all of our surface area, as well as the rock surface area, has layers, and that's what our goal is by adding these different ingredients on top of the flour. So here I have the surface of my moon, and we've learned, ooh, this is a messy project. Notice how I have a nice workspace that's easily cleaned. It's my kitchen counter. Make sure that you ask permission and find a place that your parents are okay with you doing this. And remember, you're responsible for cleaning up afterwards. Once you've created your moon surface, you need your materials, your meteors, different rock sizes. If you can't get outside and find different rock sizes, if any of you have little bouncy balls of different sizes, that would work too. So remember, our whole point is to see how are different craters formed. We know that they come from high impact. The first thing that you might want to do is choose one of your rocks and find an appropriate height to drop it on and drop it straight down. Carefully lift it up. What kind of crater was formed? I noticed this kind of was not quite perfectly circular, but neither is my rock. So that makes sense. And I also noticed that it scattered some of those sprinkles. They weren't originally on top of the ground, but from the force of the impact, it shot out sprinkles that were beneath it. I'm going to see what dropping from a similar height, a larger rock, would do. Ready? 3, 2, 1, kapow! Whoa! Look at that. I actually managed to get 2 craters created. I have more sprinkles that shot out from beneath the cocoa layer, and I have this kind of mountain where you see the flour push up through the cocoa also. This second crater from the impact was also oblong or oval shaped. Now, what would a smaller crater dropped from a height do? Oh, it gives me a smaller circle, but I still get that scattering or those rays that we were talking about. One of the things I think is really interesting is putting a variable into this. So I'm going to take my rocks again, but this time, instead of dropping them straight, I'm going to see what happens if they impact on an angle. So I'm going to do my best here. You're not going to see necessarily my angle hit. Let's see how my aim is. I'm going to try to get on an angle going down. Ready? 3, 2, 1, impact! Whoa! This crater is not circular at all. Notice how it shoots out or pushes out in one direction, and we don't have as much scattering or rays on this bottom section. So, let's see what happens if I do an angle with the larger rock. 3, 2, 1, go! Whoa! Again, I get a larger crater that's only rayed or scattered out on one side. Now, for those of you that don't have rocks and you want to try this with a bouncy ball, just by changing between the height or the angle, you can create different craters. So what are some of the observations you made making your craters, or what observations did you notice I had, or what observations did you notice that I made with craters by changing the angle or the shape or size of the rock? Jot them down on the notebook on the next slide. Happy investigating!